Grand morning.
Grand morning. Grand morning.
Man,
This your guy, Mr. Nate Reed. This your guy, Mr. Chris Reed.
And this your guy, Mr. Chauncey Reed, y'all. And hey, just like always, man, as y'all hop on, go ahead, drop your
city, your state, and where y'all been on from, so we can add value to what you have going on in your life. Boom.
You heard them, folks. You heard them. All right. Yes, they are back. Okay. Hey, I had to go ahead and make sure that they hop back on, ladies and gentlemen. So, hey, man, this morning, man, without further ado, you see how we labeled this. Let me make sure that we are live on all platforms real quick.
We are, because there's 2 viewers.
All right. Okay. So now, hey, this morning, man, we're not even going to waste no time. We finna hop right into this to ASAP. Okay. I'm about to share my screen with you all. And we're going to talk about some things this morning. All right.
Share screen. Share screen. Share screen.
All right. Here we go. Boom. All right. As you see how we labeled this, man. Hey, this morning we're talking about a few just simple ways that you can start an emergency fund. Hey, for the beginners. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of us never even had an emergency fund. Hey, I didn't have one till I was much later in age. So we want to make sure that we share some great information with you all this morning. See, hey, a couple of things that we want to talk about here real quick. See, because we got to understand an emergency fund can actually it can lead to large expenses being taken care of, whether it be things like illnesses, job losses, stuff like that. So see, this is why we actually build we like to say a 6 months emergency fund. And hey, it can make the difference between a financial inconvenience and a straight out just plain financial crisis, ladies and gentlemen.
What is an emergency fund?
Man, I love the question. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is money that we set aside to cover those, like you see on here, those or we like to say those unexpected expenses. See, the golden rule that we like to talk about is an emergency fund. It covers anywhere from, like we like to say, 3 to 6 months of your expenses. See, this money serves as what we like to say is a safety net that can help you during a financial crisis. Now, it can also help cover, I talked about the job loss. It can help for those surprise medical expenses. It can also help with, hey, any car repairs that might pop up, and even any home repairs that you may have to take care of. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the first financial line of defense. That's what we like to call this, okay?
What are the benefits to having an emergency fund?
Man, he said it. Listen to him. Hey, point blank, financial stability. Okay. This can actually protect the wallet, your investments, and your credit. We've already known a lot of people who have already had to mess with pulling from their investments during this pandemic and stuff that's been going on, right? Credit, some people's credit are shooting straight down. See, with the impact of all of that that's going on, if nothing else, this has taught all of Americans that, hey, you must have some type of emergency fund set in place, because you know it's not if a crisis is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, it's when it might actually happen.
How much should I save?
All right. I love that question, man. Hey, to play it safe, this is what we like to tell people. Hey, we like this. We stated any 3 to 6 months, ladies and gentlemen. And here's why. Okay. What you got to do is you got to figure out the amount that you actually use on a monthly basis. Okay. When it comes to your living expenses, that's what I want you to understand. See, most households have this is a fixed expenses that you have to take care of on a monthly basis. Now, and we get it now, and this is kind of based off of a rough budget. All right. Now, what you got to understand is you see them right here. Some of the common living expenses that you have, your housing, groceries, man, you got to have the groceries in place of, man, somebody going to be hungry. And I know how these two like to eat sometimes, right? The healthcare, the debt that you got to take care of. your utilities, things like that. But we also got to make sure that the other expenses that truly fall out of the common living expenses or the discretionary expenses that we talk about, like the non-essential shopping.
Going Gucci shopping.
He said Gucci shopping, right? Hey, those Jordans. Hey, it's stuff like that, right? So we got to make sure that we understand it. See, he say Fitbit. Taking the vacations. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, hey, see, he says a cruise. Sometimes your money, if your money's saying that you can't do it or you got to swipe credit, you shouldn't do it. Going out to eat a lot of times. See, this joker here.
Polar Express.
see, cutting up. Hey, sometimes you got to take that stuff out. Even if it comes to cutting the cable bill, getting rid of some of those subscriptions that you may have that you could do without. This simple things like that can put more money back into your pocket.
How to calculate a 6-month emergency fund?
Okay, right here. Let's start off by we add up our expenses. Okay, we like to say we add up those expenses and we take that amount and we'll multiply it by 6. Okay, so we're talking 6 months, right? So, for example, if a family needs $2,500 to take care of their critical living expenses. We're talking about the expenses that you see right here on the screen right now. What they would aim for is having $15,000 reserved for an emergency fund. Okay. Now here we want to set a monthly goal. Okay. Now, we talk about setting that monthly goal. It's very important that you put this money aside on a consistent basis. See, we got to understand, you'll be surprised how easily you can achieve this by just doing things by, let's say, for example, you set aside $250 on a consistent basis. You put that off to the side. Now, into your emergency fund. Hey, before you know it, by the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen, you'll end up having $3,000 set aside. See, once you have calculated what you need for your emergency fund, you want to set a goal and that amount for that emergency fund on a monthly basis. See, get in the habit of actually putting that money away, like you said, on a consistent basis. Nowadays, you can even automate how you put that money off to the side, ladies and gentlemen, so it'll come like clockwork. Okay, now we want to evaluate and assess what we put in this. Yes, exactly. See, now on every few months, you want to check in and make sure that your emergency fund is doing what it's supposed to do, right? Now, you want to check the progress of how it's growing. So see, if you find yourself where if you had to actually have a big expense, and this is something that might come up common, then, ladies and gentlemen, you might have to relook at your emergency fund, increase what you need to put aside on a monthly basis so you can make sure that those numbers are in place. Okay, just by taking the time to learn how you can use certain strategies or reducing things in your life, man, it could save you thousands. I know, because I had to do this personally as well. And now guess what I'm doing? Making sure these guys understand it. Okay, because they understand now. If you can't buy something, how many times? Three times, right? Look at you. You can't afford it. Just by understanding and implementing things like that, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? Now that extra money you start put off to your emergency fund, and you can start saving.
Where should you put the emergency fund?
All right. Now, that's a great question, because a lot of people will tell you about, yeah, you need to do an emergency fund, but they won't tell you where you actually need to put your money. So we're going to break it down for you just real quick here. What I want you to understand is this. See, two useful choices would be the high yield savings accounts and a money market account. See, when we talk about why do we talk about a high yield savings account is this. The reason we talk about this is because these accounts offer a bigger percentage on the deposits than your traditional savings accounts. See, now your money will earn a higher interest than that 0.01% that you may begin with your savings account, right?
Half a penny.
He said you cut that penny in half, right? See, this high yield savings accounts, can also they can carry fewer fees. They can also than the traditional accounts. But if you choose the right account nowadays, man, you can do it all your stuff online. You choose the right account, you won't have to deal with the minimum deposit balances or even those maintenance fees that you might find out there. Now, let's talk about this money market account. Now, a money market account has some type of they have other added features that you can use there. See, with certain accounts, you can even get a checkbook or even a debit card. But now you got to understand, when you get this, you will have limited transactions that you can do on a monthly basis. Now, the thing I like about it is, of course, it gives you these type of accounts. They give you access to your money within 24 to 48 hours. You can get access to your money immediately, because when you have an emergency, right, you want to make sure that has to be taken care of immediately. So see, with this one, banks will let you open these type of accounts for free. But let me make sure that I put this out there. With a money market account, it can also require a larger sum of money that you have to put down to actually get into it. So with this one right here, and with the increased amount that you have to put aside for that, as your emergency fund increases, now you can go ahead and start looking into a money market account. Now, last but not least here, okay, we got to understand, it takes time to build an emergency fund. Okay, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but I promise you, it's so important to have this, because it will give you some type of stability when you're building when it comes to your financial plan. All right, or I even like to say your financial GPS. When you get an emergency fund out the way, I'm telling you now, you walk with your chest out a little bit, right? You got a little bit more swagger behind you, ladies and gentlemen. See, an emergency fund is something that a lot of Americans fail to put their money in. Failing to do this, financially, it's going to put you in a position where inevitably a crisis is going to happen. Instead of it being an emergency, it puts you in a position where it's a crisis now. But see, by building up a 6-month emergency fund for those unexpected things that happen, now you can protect not only yourself, but your loved ones. So I'm going to stop this share real quick. Ooh. All right. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, man, I see y'all, man. Hey, fam, y'all, thanks for hopping on. I definitely appreciate you all for hopping on. And I'll tell you now, if you're catching this on a replay, man, go ahead, hashtag what?
Replay.
Exactly, y'all. You definitely want to do that. Also, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to what?
YouTube channel.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen, man. Hey, and just like always, man, hey, the keyword, if you want more information on how you can actually get yourself in position to start an emergency fund, man, drop in the comments. What?
Emergency.
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Drop in the comments, hashtag emergency, or just drop emergency in the comments, man. If anybody shared this with you, hey, reach back out to them. Hey, like this, subscribe, man. And just like always, man, y'all have a great day
And a blessed week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.